The atoms that we're made of have negatively charged electrons whirling around a big, bulky nucleus.
The quantum theory offers a very different explanation of our world.
How's it going, everyone? Scientifically Stupid here, and today I will be teaching you how to make how to make your name outlined in water. It's not like my other video where your name is made of like this jello-like water. It's like this box fills up with water, and your name is outlined inside of it. It's pretty hard to explain, but if you want to see what it looks like, probably skip towards the end. But if you want to see how to make it, stick to the video. So the last project was a wrecking ball. So if you want to see that, go check it out. So to make this next water project, you're going to load up a new file. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to this cube and you're going to click down here, Object, Quick Effects, Quick Fluid. Now what you want to do is, you can go into wireframe mode. That's what I'll be doing. Press 3 to enter a right view, and can slide this up and then scale it on the y-axis to make it a little bigger, and make this little cube. You can make it as big as you want, but this is what will be producing the water, so I'm gonna put it up a little higher than this. Well, actually, I'm just gonna put it inside here. So after you've gotten that, you're going to open this up so you can see all the menus. You're going to come here, and you want to make sure the little cube is selected, and you're gonna change the type to inflow, and then on X, I believe that's what it is, you're going to put -1. So that will make it dispense the water. And now if we go to the domain, I believe we can bake it. So if we bake it, what that does, it gives us a preview of what it will look like. Of course, it's not going to look perfect right now, so I'm just going to play it really quickly. You can see it looks like a bunch of squares. It doesn't really even look like water. And it's going the wrong direction, though. Oh, right. Go to the cube and make it the z-axis. Do -1, I believe it is. Now, bake it again. And now it should dispense downward and fill up the space. So you can see that it is, but it doesn't if I change it to solid mode, it doesn't really look like water. It looks like a bunch of squares. So it doesn't really look that realistic. But that's fine for now, because we'll fix that later. Now you want to hit Shift A and select text, hit RX90, enter, and then RZ90, enter, and scale that up. I'm going to go back into wireframe mode. And now you want to hit tab and change the text to whatever you want, which in my case, it's just going to be fluid. Oops. And hit tab to exit edit mode. And now I'm going to give it some thickness. So I'm going to change the extrude value to 0.123, and then the depth to 0.03, and then the resolution to 5. So you can see what that looks like in solid mode. Now, what you want to do next is you're going to want to come up to here in this little panel up in the top right. On the text, you're going to want to make sure that this is not visible in the final render. So restrict the rendering so you can't actually see the actual word in the render. But now if we go into wireframe mode and play it, you can see that is going right through the word, which we don't want. You can center that. What we want is for it to go and stay around the text. So you want to come over here to the dynamics section after to make this. You want to hit Alt-C and hit convert to mesh from curve meta surf text. Click that, and that you want to add a fluid, and the type you want it to be obstacle. Now, that's it for what you're doing there, but for the... You also want to make it so you can't see the text anymore. And now if you go to the fluid, you can change the resolution. I'm going to change it up to just 126 for now. And now if we bake it, you can see it'll take a little longer to render. It'll render slightly slower, but it will look a lot better. You can see it doesn't have the squares anymore, but I would suggest not doing this for the final render because it still doesn't outline the word correctly. And so I will be right back when it is done baking. Sorry about that. I had to restart Blender, and I'm pretty much in the same spot. Stuff might look a little different, but I'm pretty much in the same spot. So what I was going to say, if you go to Solid, I'm going to make this disappear. If you go into Solid and you play the animation a little bit, I'm going to see how far this will go. I have to rebake it since I changed it to obstacle. I might have to rebake that. Well, anyway, if you play your animation, you should be able to see that your fluid, here, I think I saw it. I'm going to pause that. You can see that the fluid is avoiding your text, which is exactly how we want it. If you make it so you can't see it, you can see that's making indentations right there, and that's perfect. So now what you can do is come to your fluid. Sorry about that. You can come to your fluid and you can set a texture. So for this, I'm going to change from Blender Render up here to Cycles Render. Click Use Nodes and then change this to Glass. And then I'm going to make it slightly blue. And now if I look at it rendered, it should look like glass. So I'm going to make the cube so I can't see it right now. So now, as you can see, it looks like actual water now. And if I go back to solid mode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a plane. Lower this down. So it's right under it, so it looks like it's actually sitting on it. Okay, I'm going to scale that pretty big. And now I'm going to go to my front view, my side view, change it to a spotlight, click Use Nodes, and then change the power to 10,000. I'm going to raise it, and I'm going to rotate it so that it's pointing onto my fluid. So now if I come over here and look at it rendered, should have some light. So as you can see, the spotlight makes it a little more visible that it is see-through. The shadow doesn't really look like that, but I don't think the shadow really matters. You can increase the, you can embiggen the plane or whatever. You can lighten up the background if you think that makes it look a little better. But it's almost done. It's almost done. It should be almost done. Mine is almost done, at least. It's almost done baking, and now if we go to the beginning and look at it from a solid view, you can see that it will drop. Let's see how far we can get this. You can see how it's forming around the letters. So now that we have it pretty much done, I can pause it at the very end and look at it, what it'll look like rendered. And as you can see, mine is a little bit short, but of course if I let that go to the very end, you can make out what that says. Of course, if you lengthened the end, or if you made the square a little bigger, it would, I just set it to 30, I'm at 300. So you could make the square a little bigger, of course. So the cube could go into solid mode, make it so the cube is visible, and I'm going to scale up the cube a little, so it's still in. Okay, so now I can put that back to 250, and I might have to bake it again. I think I have to bake it again. But basically, once so now it should, yep, so now you can see that the area is bigger that it is in, so it will speed up the process. And if you ever want this to stop flowing, what you could do is, so if you want to render this out, I suggest coming to here and changing the resolution to like 250 or something like that. It will take a long time to render because the higher this is, the more it looks like actual water. So that's what it does. And for the final render, make sure that the text, the little camera is off, so not like that, like this, and so is it for the cube. And then once that's done, make sure if you press the 0 on the numpad, it'll show you where the camera is, so that's where it's going to render. Make sure that that's where you want it. So I'm going to zoom in a little, press N, and then check off lock camera to view. So now if you close that down, you can pan around and you're always looking through the camera's perspective. So now you can play it a little bit, move around till you see where you want your camera to be. So for example, I can make it right here. And now you can see that if I look at it rendered, you can see my name starting to be surrounded, but of course it looks kind of bumpy around the edges. If you just turned up that resolution on the water that I told you about, it would be very smooth depending on how high you've turned that. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content like this, and enjoy this. I have made a different clip. It says my name, and I will show you what it looks like finally rendered. So thanks for watching, and enjoy this clip.